Hey guys, your humble host here. Today's video I wanted to talk about something rather serious, and that's the death of a loved one. Each person reacts to it differently. Now, there are various reasons why as to people pass away, whether it's through being killed in action, due to a sickness, old age, being taken before their time by someone else. Everyone has their own response to it. Some emotionally shut down, some become really emotional, some people become depressed, others angry. There are all kinds of reactions to it. It's not easy to deal with by any means, because you don't understand and it's hard to process why it even happened in the first place, and people begin to contemplate on what could have been done differently, what they could have done to change the outcome of something, change the outcome of possibly what had happened to that person. I know for me, these past 4 years have really been difficult. For those of you who have been subscribed to me for that long, I put out a video every year, one video every year, either on April 13th or around that time, a few days early. April 13th is the day that marks of my sister's death. I'm nowhere closer to knowing why she got taken away that night, why what happened. I know a lot of people, they will blame God, they'll blame themselves, or they'll blame someone else for the person's passing. I know for me, I'm not really angry with God with what happened. A decision was made that night, and unfortunately, it was a bad decision. You know, like I said, a lot of people will go and point their fingers at God for saying, well, you could have prevented this. If you have the power, then you could have done this, you could have done that. I don't have the answers for everything. I don't know, or rather, I still don't fully understand why he really didn't intervene. I mean, I miss her and it would be nice to see her again. But I also know at the same time she was hurting, and it didn't seem like she was getting better. And I'm not talking about a physical illness. I'm talking about her mental state, her emotional state. It seemed like she just kept getting into more and more and more situations that became worse and worse. There would be shining moments, and then there would be darker moments with her. I know that she did try. I'm not entirely sure how hard she tried, but I know she did. It's like I said, it's still kind of hard to process on top of everything else, and if she were still around, she'd be close by. So to tell you the truth, I have very little good memories with her, but at the same time, the very few memories I do have with her are either really special or just funny moments with her that she had, and I don't have the answer on how to deal with this. There is no one way to deal with this. To be honest, I don't even know if there's a direct right way to process something like this. I know that a few days after she passed, we got like a box of her stuff, and I did not want to open that box, but I knew it had to be done, and it was just painful. It really was painful, and it was hard to process. It really was. It just because I hadn't seen her for maybe 2 years, physically 1 to 2 years before she passed. Each of my family members had a different reaction to it, and just the confusion that was around what happened. I mean, there still isn't a straight answer for what went down, but I know that she's in a better place now, and I just remember thinking that all of us got this impression of her at different times, I think. I don't remember if it was at the exact same time, but we all kind of got like this impression that she was in heaven and she was at peace, and in a way it was comforting, but in a way it was really painful. And from what I remembered of her, she really struggled. She struggled a lot with many things, and it never seemed like she was happy with herself or happy with the things around her. I don't know how much of that's true. I know that she struggled with her self-image. I can't quite say it's gotten easier. I've kind of gotten used to not having her around, yet at the same time, I don't want to get used to it because it really sucks. But I know that I have to get used to it. I have to get used to that she's not here anymore. When it comes to dealing with a death of a loved one, I know that situations can arise from it. Freaking people start stuff. The best advice I can really give is just let yourself mourn. I mean, that's whether you do that through artwork, write it out. If you just go find a corner to cry, I mean, that's just like the best thing. Don't bottle it up. That is the worst and last thing you should do. I know that a few months after my sister first passed, I was quite emotional. I went to a trade school, and it wasn't really easy because I had constant reminders of her passing. The first couple months I was at this trade school, someone else's kid passed away, their baby, and with the death still being almost brand new, almost still fresh, it really messed with me, and it hasn't gotten easier since, but I do know that it's just as time goes on, life will go on, and I can't find myself to be angry with God. I mean, to be honest, the real people that I'm really angry at is her and the other people involved for that night. I don't understand the decision that was made. I just really don't. I mean, I have some idea as to what went through her head that night, but that's about it. I don't have anything else besides that. It's almost like everything was forgotten just for this one decision, and I don't know if it was spur of the moment. I don't know if this was contemplated for a while. I mean, I don't know, and I don't understand. And I don't know if I want to fully understand. I don't know if that would make it worse. I don't know if I want all the details of what happened that night. I don't know if that would only make me angrier. I really don't know. But what I do know is that I've grown since then, become more grown up since then. I've had to change a lot since then. I've had to do things much, much different since then. So I just really want to encourage those who are watching and those who have lost someone recently, or if it's even been quite a few years, they're always going to be there lingering in the back of your mind. It's better just to let it come out rather than bury it. Yes, it hurts. Yes, you don't fully understand. Yes, you possibly miss out on all these things with them. But at the same time, the more that you let it come out, the more you let yourself mourn, the better off you'll be. And when that day does roll around, just take the day to spend time with someone close, or go out and try to do your favorite thing. I know for me, these past 4 years, I don't work. I don't go to work. I usually call in or ask for it off because I can't work on that day just because of my emotional state, and I'd rather spend it with my husband and call family members. I mean, that's something that I would suggest. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, once every year I put something out. It helps me process, it helps me mourn, it helps me deal with the fact that she passed. Talking about it helps. I mean, I personally didn't get depressed from it, but at the same time, it didn't make things any better or easier. But because I allow myself to mourn, because I allow myself to process, I've learned to give voice to other things that I haven't been able to in the past. It's helped me grow emotionally and mentally. So for anyone who's watching, for anyone who is listening to this, I really want to encourage you. And I will also say this, that it's not God's fault that people are taken before their time. that people are suffering. You know, I've seen this a lot where people say, well, if God really did exist, if God was all-powerful or all-knowing, then why is there so much suffering and pain in the world? A pastor said it best, and I don't remember what his name was, but I think it answers that question quite well, and it's because we don't come to him. He won't force himself on us. He won't force our will in any way. That's why we have free will. He doesn't bless our sin. But, you know, if we come to him, he will answer, and he is there. And I know that I've struggled with him multiple times and in the past, and I've had many hardships and struggles in my own walk with God. I'm not saying that my sister was punished. I'm not saying that in any sort of way. But what I am saying is that she made a decision of her own free will, and I don't know why God didn't intervene, but instead he took her at that moment. And I know that could be said for a lot of situations of people passing. Our physical bodies can only handle so much. Sometimes in those moments, it's best for those people or that person to pass on, which I know not everyone will agree. But with my sister, as much as I want her here with me again, I know it's for the best. The way that she went out, I would never wish that on someone, ever. It was tragic. But, like I said, she's in a better place. So, just wanted to talk about that. That's all I really have, and I know I haven't touched upon every single aspect or feeling. This is just what comes to mind during this time for me. With that being said, I'll talk to you guys later. Kristen, I miss you. I wish you were still here. I love you.